Watch out, Chapo's back. Oh, man. Chapo's. Hang on, buddy. You little ripper! Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too, I'm Bushka, and it's my great privilege to welcome you back here to the PUBG Mobile official channel, where everyone hot drops every time, and all the vests are level 3. Today we're going to be looking at one of the most important things you can do in the game, and that's sift through the information and get rid of the paralysis by analysis, and focus in on just one thing. We're going to talk about isolating and eliminating problems one at a time. The game gives you so much info. At times it can be an absolute overload. You get footsteps, hit markers, you get a kill feed, you've got to watch the mini-map, you've got to figure out and listen with your ears to get an idea on exactly where people are, above you, below you, around you, and all this stuff can funnel into a critical overload of info to the point where you really end up doing nothing well and a whole lot of stuff really badly. And there's no way around it, but you've got to learn how to focus on one really important factor in the game and get a win with that, whether it be just getting to the next circle or knocking the next target. It's got to be about focus. And the thing I really want to focus on today is isolation. When you've got all this info coming in, when you've got all these things that you want to do, you want to get to the circle, you want to deal with the guys in front of you, you want to kill the guy you just knocked, you want to figure out who that guy is that's shooting, you got to boil it all down to one thing. As long as you can focus on just one thing, you will be able to actually get the job done a whole hell of a lot better. Now, I'm not saying that you can't do more than one thing at one time. I'm not going for that old trope. There's absolutely no way in the world that that's right. But you've got to have one really solid goal that takes precedence over everything else. Now, that is generally going to be the end goal, which is getting to the circle and being the last man standing. But it's a lot more than that, obviously, and there's a lot more that goes into the game than that. And I'm going to show you some clips today of various situations where I have to deal with a lot of things going on and get the job done, despite the fact that at certain times it might feel like there's no way I'm going to come out on top and it's a little bit overwhelming. Now, this drop was lovely because Chapos and I dropped Novo crates and the game really came to us very, very smoothly. This is a solo versus squad match on Sanok, and I've pushed all the way here to the end. We've got 12 kills, we've done a lot of damage, but the zone has really shagged us. Now, the thing that I really like about this game, and I have featured this on my channel before, this game in particular, is that I don't fall in love with getting a kill or doing anything or having a fight. All I do is move from one section to the next, trying to get to the circle. The only thing I'm focusing on here is making sure that I get to the circle. And I just keep doing that until suddenly it's like, well, let's get a heal. And then it's, well, are you in the circle? Are you healed up? You've knocked a guy over there. How about we go and get rid of these two blokes now? And they've obviously revived and we start having another fight and we're going to clear this. But it's really simple. And yet I've taken a situation that felt pretty wildly out of hand and turned it into a situation where I'm every chance of winning the game. Now, there's another squad. There's a duo left. You can see them on the mini-map. The hit markers are coming up. They are just to my southwest. I know that guy's knocked and he's going to die to the zone if his friend doesn't either revive him or push him out. So I'm going to leverage that into getting him to make a really bad decision. He doesn't have a lot of choice. It's either let his mate die, which our mates are never like that. And then we're going to go and clear the last duo by running around here next to the wall, listening to the sound of their footsteps and where they're moving and getting an idea on where at least one of them is, and then clearing both of them from there. Now, this was really good, this game, for me, in that I felt like I'd played it really well and I hadn't gotten caught up in getting the damage. And the real key here is if you just worry about the process and doing the right thing, and you do that for 20 or 30 minutes till you get through to the chicken dinner, the damage will take care of itself. The kill count will take care of itself. You don't have to worry about that stuff. There's an old saying in basketball, you want to take what the defense gives you. And PUBG Mobile is exactly like that. You want to take exactly what the defense is giving you. Where we fall, and where I fall personally into the trap all the time, is I will be far too aggressive. You'll note in this game, I am running around, I have no vest, okay? There's a squad, I've got one of them cleared here so far. The rest of them are a little bit further down here to the east. I'm just trying to loot that M24. There you go, we've got some more fire incoming. And he's somewhere down there, I can't see him at the moment, but I heard him. There he is, says his helmet's just gonna pop. Need that shot. Oh, come on. Got a little sneaky QBZ headshot in. Now his mate's got to be around here as well. There we go, up on the hill. And this is really hard, but at the same time, it's not, because all I'm doing is focusing on one thing. And as soon as I heard his buddy turn off to the left there, that became my prime and most important priority. Now, my most important thing is to heal up before I take the next engagement. It's not to push. It's not to take advantage of the headshot that I just got. It's to actually put myself in a position where I'm as strong as I possibly can be before I take that engagement. That's what I did. But then I go and do things like this. This is one level 1 vest, no helmet, and 2/3 hit points. And I'm pushing an entire squad. And as much as I would like to say that this ends well, the fact is you can only roll the dice so many times and push so hard before you really, I mean, look at that. 30% hit points, no helmet. You deserve to get wrecked. And you've got to take accountability for that. And one of the best things I find as a player is that I learn best from my mistakes like that. You know, I think it's one of the reasons why I feel like I've got better at the game is I make more mistakes than any 3 humans combined. That's 1 person, 2 people, 3 people that I just saw poking out there. And I've made that mistake so often where I've tried to chase that guy that went around the corner without looking around to see if he's got cover, that I now tend not to make that error too often. I say too often, I still make it. I want to talk quickly about one other thing, pivot points. I did a video called The Biggest Mistake Players Keep Making in PUBG Mobile. It's got about 100,000 views now. And in it, I talk about position, how people don't move from strong position to strong position, cover to cover. I like to call it like a pivot point, okay? You see where I am in this section of the map. I'm trying to draw that squad out into single combat so that I'll knock them one at a time. And a lot like you saw with Chapos and I in Novo Crates at the start, it's so much easier to deal with a full squad if you're allowed to fight them one at a time. The thing that really defines good players is they work together as a team. So they would all attack at once. Want to go left, want to go right, want to go down the middle. So I wouldn't be able to cover all those exits. One of the most important things you can do as a squad mate is to focus on working together and doing all that kind of stuff. For me, all I'm focused on here is my pivot point. I've gone out, I'm going to pivot right back. I'm taking targets one at a time. I'm going to wipe all of this squad one at a time. And then the third member is on my left here and I see his footprints. I'm going to leap out, wrong foot him. All we did was focus on one single engagement at a time. Just knock the first guy, deal with the second guy. Knock the second guy, deal with the third guy. And suddenly you've got 5 kills, you own boot camp, and you're a much better chance of winning the game. Now, you won't guarantee yourself to always win those engagements, but that's the easiest way to do it. Isolate the problem, deal with it one problem at a time, namely one target at a time, and then move on to the next one. You don't always have to kill them if you knock them. You don't really have to do anything. This is a great example of this. There is a squad of 3 left, solo versus squad on Sanok, and they're somewhere over to my east. I completely muff up my shot on the first target with the M24. I start tracking that guy down to the left, and there's actually a guy to the right, and he gets time to aim in. Now, first most important thing is I have to get combat effective. I cannot win this engagement without getting hit points back. And there's my pivot point. Look down. Okay, I've got space on the right. There's a guy on the right. Knock him. Now push down into the next guy. Keep that pivot point between me and the bad guys. That took about 15 seconds, but that was 3 different single engagements. I was never fighting more than one person at a time. And that way you're capable of handling really crazy odds, which is great, I think, anyway. I'm going to show you one last game here. And again, we're just hot dropped Boot Me Booter Camp solo versus squad, which is, how I like to have a good time. And it's wild. It's just wild. The amount of people here, the amount of no one wearing armor, looking for a gun, clearing targets. And this is the absolute epitome of just dealing with exactly what is in front of you. And I think this is really where it becomes paramount that you can stay calm and focus on the task at hand. Because it would be very, very easy to be overwhelmed in this situation and start looking around for things that don't really need to be worried about. I can't really deal with anyone else apart from what's in front of me. Solo versus squad, that's cool. I'm just going to focus on getting the right weapon, making sure I have enough. There's a bloke shooting me from outside the radar, the line. Not even going to worry about him. Someone else can deal with him. That guy's mate was coming to revive him. We don't have any vest or helmet. We just clear that bloke, Stickman 97, with what, half a hit point left? I mean, that's what comes of not having a vest or a helmet, but still, we're going to do our best. And things get really, really intense. And this is why I drop boot camp. This is why I drop solo versus squad. It makes you a better player. I did not just start doing this and wailing on people. And to be honest, I rarely, if ever, do. Maybe 1 in 2 games, I'll actually come out with a decent kill-death ratio of like 5 or 6. Most of the time, it is getting wrecked. But it's quite simply focusing and learning to isolate targets and stay close to cover that makes the difference. And when you get to the final circle, when you've gone through solo versus squad in boot camp, you're like, whatever, man. Like, it's not going to be any harder than it was when I dropped. And I think that's a really important thing. If you want to get better in your gameplay, solo versus squad this joint and watch as you improve and get better at it. I found this game particularly funny too because you've seen how hectic it's been. I've got 9 kills. This is a lovely strafe out. Here we go. Strafe out. Watch the footsteps. And we finally go down to this guy's squad mate. And I love it. You know you've made it to the big time when people start whinging about you. Here we go.
Damn, bro, this YouTuber camping.
This YouTuber camping.
The Bush guy. You don't know his YouTube channel?
Oh, you know you made it. You know you made it when you get called a camper in the voice comms. Thanks, mate. I really did actually get tickled by that. That was great. Thanks, everyone who watched the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, the PUBG Mobile official channel. Make sure to leave a like and a comment. And if you want to check out more content like this, then pop along to my channel, The Bushcar, youtube.com/The Bushcar, and get ready to rock, roll, and rumble. Until next time, look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.